Well, a lot of people are talking about some mysterious lights seen in the sky last night here.
NASA has been flying UFOs for over 60 years. Every spacecraft that has ever visited the Moon, landed on Mars, buzzed Jupiter, orbited Saturn, or reconnoitered Pluto would be an unknown flying object to an alien intelligence that would come across it. There may be no such intelligence in our solar system beyond Earth, but what about in interstellar space? That is a different question. That's why the Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 probes, which left the solar system in 2012 and 2018 respectively, have golden records etched with coded sounds and images from Earth, a message in a bottle to any civilization that might come across the ships and want to learn more about the curious species that launched them. UFOs, or UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, as they're more formally known today, have been making headlines recently. Just last month, an intelligence committee held public hearings on more than 140 sightings of UAPs by military pilots over the last 20 years, bobbing, weaving, hovering, diving, changing direction with head-snapping speed that would produce potentially lethal G-forces to any living being, or at least any living human being on the inside. NASA conducted a press conference on June 9th with only a few hours' notice to announce research into unidentified aerial phenomena. The public was wondering why one of the United States' foremost scientific bodies was getting involved in something that was generally thought to be on the outskirts of acceptability. Is it because of the recent sightings of mysterious aerial objects on ISS cameras? Is there something they're keeping from the public that they don't want us to know? Join us as we look into how NASA experts detected something that just passed by the International Space Station. According to scientific studies, we may not have discovered the bulk of the cosmos around us yet. According to studies and research, we have only explored around 4% of our universe, with the other 96% being a huge unknown filled with new particles, dark energy, and dark matter, as well as innumerable planets and maybe a different sort of civilization that we have yet to discover. This research has resulted in the creation of the International Space Station, one of the most spectacular technologies ever invented in human history by leading scientists, researchers, and engineers from 5 cooperating agencies around the world with the common goal of researching space and its environment. In recent decades, scientists have boosted their space exploration efforts with the objective of identifying a civilization other than humans residing on Earth. While tales of alien encounters have circulated since the late 1940s, an estimated 9,000 reports of these odd objects sighted in the clouds have been recorded. The reports quickly gained international attention and caused quite a storm. This is where the International Space Station comes into play. The International Space Station, ISS, is a modern engineering marvel of global cooperation. The International Space Station can be used to look for extraterrestrial life or other abnormalities in the universe. The International Space Station has done extensive study on these sentient creatures since its inception, and after many years of work, this research has now begun to yield results. As predicted, reports of UFO encounters have begun to circulate, and the government and NASA are now fighting to keep this knowledge hidden from the public. Some Earthbound spectators claim they've witnessed aliens observing humanity as astronauts from a variety of nations advanced mankind's research in space. 2 astronauts were performing maintenance on the International Space Station 250 miles above the Earth's surface in March of 2017. Peggy Whitson, a NASA flight engineer, videotaped their mission and captured something quite bizarre in the process. An odd object was observed close behind, whirling gently as though trying to obtain a better look. It could be seen in the backdrop for nearly the whole 7-hour spacewalk. Many believe that this is evidence of a UFO watching the ISS. Brad Olson, an author and editor, believes there is a complete ET surveillance network. Some say the centerpiece is a mystery spacecraft known as the Black Knight, which escapes detection by using a cloaking mechanism. According to Olson, the Black Knight satellite flies a very strange rotation around the Earth from pole to pole, such that when the Earth rotates in that way, ultimately every continent would fall beneath where the Black Knight satellite hovers. In 1899, legendary scientist Nikola Tesla received a radio signal that some think was from the Black Knight. and images of a weird object obtained from the International Space Station add to the notion that an alien satellite is circling Earth. But if aliens are eavesdropping on us, no one knows what they expect to discover. What they're employing it for to monitor the Earth is one of our planet's greatest mysteries. Other footage from the ISS has now confirmed that unusual things are happening in space. A photograph taken in 2015 by a British astronaut who noticed 3 lights travelling in formation near the International Space Station. Now, the image is difficult to discern, but when zoomed in, it is clear that something is wrong. Is that a starship from another planet? NASA has yet to provide an explanation, so perhaps they are concealing something. Could the object seen in the spacewalk clip be a satellite of some kind? It actually falls into the shadow of the space station, indicating that it is rather tiny and near to the space station. So it may be one of the 130 million particles of space debris orbiting the Earth. To avoid being struck by those material, the ISS occasionally has to move out of the way. We anticipated space trash to be travelling over the Earth's surface in a different direction, but because they're going at the same speed across space, it appears to be something paralleling the motion of the International Space Station. Could it be the Black Knight satellite? The information about the Black Knight has been pieced together from several stories. It all starts with Nikola Tesla, who claimed to have received radio messages from space during his radio experiments in Colorado Springs in 1899. Martians, he reasoned, were seeking to communicate with us via numbers since they are a universal language. Tesla recalled his encounter in a February 1901 Collier's Weekly article. The changes I noted were taking place periodically and with such a clear suggestion of number and order that they were not traceable to any cause then known to me. The feeling is constantly growing on me that I had been the first to hear the greeting of one planet to another. According to Black Knight believers, this was the first evidence of their satellite which broadcast the radio pulses. Scientists have now discovered that the radio pulses were most likely natural signals emitted by space objects while in orbit. While still doubtful, the prevalent view is that Tesla heard a pulsar, or a distant astronomical body that releases regular pulses of radio waves. The Black Knight may have generated such pulses, but it doesn't make it alien in nature. So until NASA provides an explanation, whatever was recorded in March of 2017 will remain a mystery. The space station also sends live feeds back to Earth to the National Aeronautics and Space Administration for additional study, as well as correspondence between astronauts on the space station and engineers and scientists on Earth, and test results verification. All of these live feeds are frequently distributed to the public by airing them on media sources such as radio and television stations for viewing. Among these live feeds are the iconic Apollo 11 missions of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin's moon landing on July 21, 1969, which were aired worldwide. We've been following the International Space Station's technical advancements and excursions through live broadcast for a long time, and along the line we've discovered certain things that NASA is attempting to keep hidden from the general public. UFO enthusiasts believe this because they have watched identical events via the live feed from the International Space Station. This live broadcast is supplied by the camera on the satellite in space and is available at all times for anyone on Earth to witness how life appears outside our planet. Recently, NASA transmitted a live video from the camera on the International Space Station offering a peek of space beyond the ISS. The live transmission, however, was unexpectedly halted, which astonished viewers who were attempting to figure out what was wrong with the space station's camera, but were unable to identify what interrupted the live video. A strange object looked to be travelling over Earth's horizon before the video abruptly ended. This item was seen by Toby Lund, a UFO observer and extraterrestrial investigator. The live feed was disrupted for more than 10 seconds when the object appeared on the screen until the camera was switched back on. Toby took a picture of the object and examined it. After studying the photograph, he remarked that it resembled a Starfleet insignia from Star Trek and posted it on the internet. However, this was not the only extraterrestrial object discovered in space. A few weeks later, a YouTuber named StreetCap1 claimed a similar sighting, making it the month's second UFO sighting. Following Toby's first sighting, UFO watchers raised their attention in the second sighting, which was also detected via the International Space Station live stream. they saw a dark object ascend over the horizon only to vanish. Viewers were still baffled by this unexpected occurrence until NASA switched the live stream broadcast to another camera position in another section of the space station. Professor Andrew Baloff of the Department of Physics at Imperial College London was asked about these extraterrestrial sightings. Generally speaking, the UFO sightings can either be explained by some artifact effect, it could even be some space junk, and may be left unexplained as there is not enough evidence to back up the assumptions. It would be a very complex scenario to judge the content of the video in this instance, especially with the poor quality depicted in the video. But suppose NASA has access to high-quality images of the footage. In that case, he said in an interview with Mail Online. However, NASA or its representatives have yet to respond to the event. Likewise, discussing the idea of life elsewhere in the universe no longer appears as strange or disreputable as it previously did. In addition to using telescopes to explore for chemical evidence of living ecosystems on worlds circling distant stars, scientists of all stripes constantly put up ideas for missions to look for microorganisms on planets and moons in the solar system. Do you believe in extraterrestrial life? And do you think these sightings are credible? Share your thoughts in the comments below.